just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another Packer Up Boys, proudly brought to you by Bloke Jumpers and Hats. That's right, June 10, 6 p.m. We've got the maroon jumpers, the maroon hats, the blue jumpers, the blue hats. Very limited edition, highest quality product we've ever had made. Unbelievable jumpers. Make sure to be there, guys. And if you're on the fence, if you listen to hours and hours and hours of content, I know I'm talking to you right now. You've been listening to years of Bloke and you've never even considered it. Maybe consider buying some merch to really help support the platform. It really does help, guys, and we really do appreciate it. It's it is genuinely. It goes directly to supporting all the content that gets created. Is these merch drop. Anytime we sell out of the merch drop, that literally gets put straight back into the show. That is 10th of June, 6 p.m. Be there or be square. Also, a massive thank you to Sportsbet. As always, give us a follow on the feed. Had a huge week the other week. So hopefully I can back her up. Take you 2 seconds. Give us a follow on the feed. And thank you as always to Sportsbet. Matty, how you going, mate?
I'm good. I've got a White Lotus update.
Okay.
Now, last week, there was a few comments saying, why would you start a show in season 3?
Which is fair.
Which is fair. We didn't really address it, but it is kind of a different storyline each season.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, really. It doesn't matter.
Well, I was told by Courtney that they're not... She's seen season 1 and 2. And she's like, I want to see season 3. Just watch season 3 with me, and then you can go back and watch 1 and 2. And I was like, sweet, no dramas. Anyway, season 3 was awesome. I thought it was great. Watched the whole of season 2 this week, and there was some strong links to season 3.
Yeah, it's all connected.
It's all connected. And I was like, I looked at it.
Why did you go to season 2? Go to season 1.
Well, because the options were Hawaii and Italy. And since we weren't watching in order, I was like, I'd rather watch Italy.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever. Anyway, so season 2, I watched season 2, and there was strong links to season 3.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was like, Courts, what the hell? And she's like, oh, I didn't, because she hadn't seen season 3. She's like, this season 1 and season 2 have nothing to do with each other. So I didn't know that season 2 and season 3 did. Yeah. I was like, fine, okay. We get to season 1 last night.
Yeah.
In the opening scene, I see a character from season 2 and a character from season 3. And I'm like, are you for real? And she goes, oh, I don't think I've watched season 1.
What the hell?
And I was like, so you've
been stitched up.
Stitched me up. And now I've had to,
You're essentially watching prequels.
I'm watching it in reverse order.
Yeah, in reverse
order. And a week ago when I read the comments, I didn't reply to any, but I was shaking my head thinking, you're an idiot. They're all different. Yeah. And now I'm like, they were 100% right. I'm now watching it in reverse order like an absolute sicko.
Oh my God.
But season 2 was great. I thought it was better than season 3. Maybe
season 2 is the best.
Yeah. I've watched the first episode of season 1, so I'm excited for the.
Yeah, I reckon season 2 is the best. I like season 2. Just the place that they're at, the storyline. I reckon season 2 is definitely the best.
They got some heavy hitters like actor wise in that one too.
Yeah, so it goes season 2, 1, and 3. 3 was decent, and the best scene for me was that the little Asian girl scene. At dinner. It was so funny. Holy shit. That's like one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen. But I just think they'd wrapped it up a little bit too quick, I reckon, season 3. But season 2, easily the best. I love season 2. I thought it was great.
Yeah. I think the location as well, like being in Italy, it was mad. Because I've just watched The Sopranos as well, seeing one of the main characters all grown up in season 2 in White Lotus was cool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I loved it, to be honest.
Great show. What I'm loving is Andor. Nearly finished it. I think I've got 1 or 2 episodes to go. What a series. Far out. It is so good, Andor. It is such a good TV series. What else I watched recently? Warfare. Oh, best war movie ever made. Boom.
Wow.
Said it. Better than Black Hawk Down. Better than Saving Private Ryan. Better than 1942. You name it. In my opinion, it's the greatest ever war movie made. Because it is just, it is the closest you will probably ever get to actually being a part of a special forces unit. It is unbelievable. And the opening scene is absolutely goated. Absolutely goated. You have to, it is just so intense.
Where's it based?
Apple TV. Oh, as in, where do they go to war? I think it's the Iraq War.
Okay.
Iraq War.
Yeah, nice.
2006, I think maybe.
Yeah.
It's based on true events as well. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's based on true events. It is unbelievable. And want to be really clear. Obviously, playing rugby league is nothing like being in the army. But I have done army camps, so I have been in camps and around army people that are quite high up in the army or whatever. And so went just to see the similarities in the way they kind of move, the camaraderie, just everything. There are a lot of similarities. Now, as I said, I'm not comparing rugby league to the army, but like just the way the camaraderie between an army unit and a rugby league team, relatively similar. Now, a rugby league team will never be as tight as an army unit because if you're risking your lives together, that is going to bring you closer than anything. Literally saying, I will put my life on the line for the brother beside me, that is going to make you closer than anything. So I'm not, as I said, you're not going to be as close in a rugby team, but there are going to be similarities. Like the opening scene, they're watching Call on Me, the techno song, dance song. And they're in a room together, all the boys G'ing up. And it was just like, man, I want to be in that room with the fucking boys about to fucking go out. And it just hard cut to them on a mission. And you're just like, wow, the juxtaposition between the two. Just incredible opening scene. So great movie. And no, that's not a spoiler alert. The opening scene is not a spoiler. Come on, guys. Could you imagine if someone said spoiler alert? The opening scene? Come on, bro. Fuck. Incredible movie, just incredible. And you're not going to get the scene until you actually watch it. But then the rest of the movie, it is some of the most intense things I've ever watched. And it's just like, it just shows you what those men went through. And on both sides too, not just the American side, on the other side as well. Like, man, just intense.
I got a question for you. Oh, sorry, I'm not used to this camera. Have you read Mark Donaldson's book? He won an Australian Victoria Cross Award, I think it is. He's one of the few, and he went over to Afghanistan, and he was like, he's a widely regarded high-ranking soldier in Australia. And his book, I don't read that many books, but it is one of the most craziest roller coasters you'll ever see in your life. You'll ever read in your life. It is. I think he went to Afghanistan.
Hopefully they make a movie of it then.
Yeah.
Watch the movie version of it.
The reason I read it is because, full circle, Laurie Daly actually brought him into Origin Camp in his first stint.
Oh,
so
really?
I got to meet him and got to hear him speak, and I was like obviously it's super interesting.
Yep.
So I read his book, and I highly recommend it. It's bloody awesome.
Yeah. Early in my 20s, maybe 18 to maybe like 26, 27, there was always a part. He's like, would I join the army? Like there's an itch to it. But then I was like, nah, I don't think I would. I would. But there was a period there where I kind of wanted to, especially after some of the army camps. But I'm glad. I'm glad I didn't.
I guess there's some similarities in like some mental things between.
Well, it's just it's the brotherhood, and I can't speak for people in the army, but I bet you any money, like I bet you there's a lot of people that have been over. And first of all, thank you for your service, thank you so much. But I'm sure that there are army people in the army that get back from, let's say they're in Iraq, and they're like daily, patrolling and doing all that kind of stuff, and it's super dangerous, and they come back to Australia where it's supposed to be a really easy place to live, and they just do a normal job, and they miss being in this highly dangerous environment, but they miss being with their brothers. They miss waking up every day having a purpose. And even though you're risking your life every day, even though you probably lost some very close friends to you, I'm assuming there are some people that miss those moments, miss those times together, because it just brings you so tightly together. Warfare, what a movie. And also, it doesn't sugarcoat it. That's what I like about it. It doesn't, war is not a good thing. It is not a good thing. It should not be glamorized at all. We should know what they go through. And I think any Aussie that is proud of our soldiers should watch a movie like that. I know it's about America, but just to know what our soldiers have gone through, like what they put themselves into, the environments that is literally hell on earth, it's just an incredible movie. It really does strike home. It's so intense, so intense.
Yeah, I felt... When I read that book, I felt extremely similar because he puts you in the battlefield basically.
Yeah, and they're literally hell on earth. Like it doesn't get any worse. It doesn't get any worse.
Yeah.
But Warfare, incredible movie, and well done to people that made that because it's just so good, so friggin' good. What else has been going on, man?
I discovered on Kayo Sports, this is an ad read, by the way, but I discovered they have Kayo minis going all the way back to the 1966 grand final. So I discovered that the other day, and in my spare time, I've been watching, like this morning, I watched like a 30-minute KO mini of the 1970 grand final between Rabbitohs and Manly, like when John Sattler broke his jaw. I watched the 1991 grand final the other day when I was eating breakfast. And then, what was it? Last night I watched, before the women's game, I watched a bit of the 2005 Game 3. So I've basically gone on a bit of a deep dive into KO.
Well, there you go. That is a KO ad. There you go. You can't miss it. It's on KO. Matt, he is definitely a consumer.
But like the 1970 grand final, like that's 55 years ago.
Crazy. It's crazy.
And it's all in black and white, and it's a different game because there's a 5 meter rule.
Yep.
And also that triggered me because we had Paul Langmack on the other day, and one of the things he said was we used to love blind signing people because of the 5 meter rule. I thought, when did they bring in the 10 meter rule? So I Googled it, and this is the most rugby league thing of all time. They brought in an 8 meter rule in the 1993 season and then changed it to 10 meters halfway through the year.
Fucking hell.
Don't know why.
That'll do me.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, with the fallout of Origin, look, to be honest, I think the biggest talking point, obviously, it's New South Wales dominance. It's the fact that New South Wales have a real opportunity to get some series wins here. You know, the series is not dead at all. You know, Queensland are definitely still in it, but geez, they look good game 1. For me, I think the big talking point going out of it is the Spencer Leniu kick to the other side. You know, I haven't seen that many Queenslanders talk about it. I've seen some Queenslanders defend it. Look, you know me, I'm a very loyal and staunch Queenslander. You know, I love my state. I love the Maroons. But me personally, I think it was as I said yesterday, I think it was a smart decision, but it wasn't an Origin decision. I think that it's going to haunt Queensland for many years to come. That essentially, to my recall, and maybe there's been other times, but Spencer Leniu was essentially the first forward that has been kicked away from because in reality, scared's not the right word, but worried about the momentum that he is going to be able to propel his team under if he gets that first run. And I just think that they made a real mistake in doing that because, you know, it's just not what Queensland would do. And look, first of all, I want to say, I've never played for Queensland in Origin. Those guys playing, Billy Slater, these guys are legends of Origin. So they know what being a Queenslander is much more than me. But I still have an opinion on the situation. And my opinion on the situation is that being a Queenslander and the Queensland spirit, we always joke about, it's not about winning, it's about having a go no matter the circumstances. And the circumstance is Spencer Leniu was a beast and he's probably going to bump someone. So he's going to bump someone the first time. But what Queensland do, they might not win the first battle. They don't win the second battle. But they win the third and the fourth battle and they win the war. And that's my problem with kicking away from Spencer is that you won the little battle in taking him out of the game, but he's won the war now. And so that's my concern, that this is going to haunt Queensland for years to come, just like the Benny Creagh incident for New South Wales, where, yes, was it smart for Benny Creagh to backpedal out of that because maybe he was going to lose a fight or whatever? Maybe, I don't know. Was it smart to try and take Spencer out of the game and lessen his impact? Yes, but sometimes Origin isn't about being smart. It's about just being brave, and I think we lost that battle.
The Benny Creagh thing, as a Blues fan, it still makes me feel negative feelings when I see it and when I think about it. And I'm sure you've said 100 times how Benny Creagh is actually, you know, tough
He's
as
so
shit.
tough. I cannot express to you how many injuries that bloke was playing through. Yeah.
I'm sure he has regretted that every day since then. I'm sure he has. But as a Blues fan, it hurts. Still thinking about it. And the more, like, to be honest, when it happened, I didn't think much of it because I was so lasered into, I just want Blues to win. I don't care. But after all this fallout, this is going to be an Origin moment. This is going to be an Origin moment. It's going to be talked about forever. I'll take you back to 2004. One of the Danny Badiris' greatest Origin moment, right? Johns kicks off to Webke, obviously, kick it to, you know, the toughest guy. And Danny Badiris literally sprints and puts a huge shot on him, bounces out of it because he's 10 times smaller than him. But that just set the tone for the Blues. And that has gone. That was 20 years ago, and that's gone down forever. And I saw Danny Badiris talking about it on Friday the 8th the other day.
Yeah,
like that shit goes down in history. That's what Origin's all about. Tim Grant running over Petro Civoniceva. Queensland always kicking off to Paul Gallen. It's like that kickoff is what Origin's all about. And kicking away from Spencer, I've never heard that before. I've definitely never heard that before. And that's going to be around forever.
Yeah, I just can't. And it's a lifetime away from a Queensland side that put a bomb up to bash a Blues.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a push, a bit of a shove. Darren Lockyer says, mate, I think it's Smithy ended up kicking it, maybe, if I recall correctly. Put that ball up. Yeah. We want to bash someone. And then we're kicking away from Spencer. I don't understand it. As I said, I'm a couch potato doing absolutely nothing. And, I'm not the one that has to tackle him. I'm a friggin' winger. So, but you can still have an opinion on the situation. And I can't imagine, give Tino a shot at him. Give Fodawaker. Give Lindsay. These boys are bloody good forwards. Give Paddy a shot at him. I just don't understand it. And that's where I think that, Billy as a coach, he's so smart. He's such an intelligent footballer. I think they overthought it. They were thinking, let's be real smarter and just take him out of the game. And look, if Queensland win, we're probably sitting there saying, what a smart play.
Yeah.
It took Spencer out of the game. The thing is, they didn't win. And yeah, unfortunately, I think it's going to haunt this Queensland team for a while. And the funny thing is I reckon there are forwards in this Queensland side that internally disagreed with the decision to do that. I think there are forwards that would have loved a shot at Spencer Leniu.
Of course they would.
And they didn't take it. And I think it's going to haunt us, unfortunately. And that's coming from, I could easily sit up here and pretend and go, well, hang on a sec, guys. Spencer didn't have as much impact. And all of that is irrelevant. Sometimes Origin isn't about being smart. Sometimes it's about being brave. And okay, maybe he wins that initial battle. But you can't tell me the Queensland spirit isn't about getting up and making the next tackle. Queensland spirit isn't about that initial shot. It's about how do you handle when you are under the pump? How do you handle being behind? That's what Queensland spirit's about. And I just felt like we played smart footy, not Origin footy with that decision, in my opinion.
Definitely, especially because the Blues forwards all week all camp was like the Blues are, especially in the bench, have an advantage in the forwards. So it would have been a great opportunity for Queensland to say, nah, we're gonna have a crack here, and they didn't. And as you said before, it's a win for Spencer. It's
a huge win.
I know he's blowing up, but it's a win for Spencer.
But what was he saying when he was blowing up? He was calling them cats.
Yeah.
And that the frustrating thing is, I don't think that the Queensland side are that at all. You telling me Tino's a cat?
Yeah, please.
Telling me he wouldn't want to crack at that?
Yeah.
I promise you, Tino and Paddy Carrigan want to crack at that. So really, it's just an error, I think. An error I can understand why they thought it. When you take the Origin out of it, let's say it was a club game, I'd just be like, yeah, sweet. Club game, be really smart, be really tactical. I would still lean towards kicking to Spencer, but I would understand it more because you're just like, mate, we're about winning. We're not about... But Origin is so much about passion and bravery and sacrifice and all that kind of stuff. I just thought overthinking the play, overthink the room, back your boys in, and it's a sign that, I'd love to hear their thinking behind it, because to me it says they're basically saying there's a good chance Spencer Leniu wins this contact and they win the set after that. That's why we did it. And it's surely you back your forwards in to win that contact over Spencer.
Yeah, it's just... And, I guess it's a valid reason, but, it's Origin.
Or could it be they intentionally kicked to Max King because he's a debutant and they wanted to rattle him?
They're all valid reasons, but I know it's a bit caveman-y, but it's Origin. It's Origin.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, though, the argument could be, we were trying to get the debutant rattled.
Sure.
But I don't agree with that either. I'm just saying that could be something that they were thinking potentially. There's a debutant, we want to rough him up.
There's a few valid reasons to not kick to Spencer Leniu. There's a lot of valid reasons, but
it's just not.
It's just the look was terrible.
Yeah, I just don't like
especially
it.
after smash this Blues grub. I know they
didn't write that. That's what's so annoying, and that's what I said it on the captain's. Was the captain's run?
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off about that. Now the players are held accountable by some journo sitting behind a desk that rides this grub.
Yeah.
It's like, mate, you're not on the field, And now this narrative has been created. Oh, but the Queensland, they were talking big game before. The Queensland players were talking a big game, how they're going after Spencer Leniu. It's like the Queensland players didn't say anything. It's some journo behind a desk trying to sell papers.
I'll never forget, it happened for the Blues a few years ago when Tim Glasby debuted, and the headline was Tim Who? And that just set the tone for the whole camp. Like, Blues, disrespectful, blah, blah. And the Blues were like, we didn't say
We didn't even say it. It's so annoying. Like, and that's why just keep it about the playing, like about the team, and singling out Spencer. It's like, mate, you have not earned the right to say things like that.
Yeah.
You're a journalist, and you might be really good at your job, but that's great. But you are not a man in the arena. You do not have you have not bled enough blood or sweat enough sweat to be able to call Spencer Leniu the grub that you should go after, because you're not the one that has to be held accountable for those words. It's the players that get held accountable for your words, and they don't have any say in it. That's why I said on the captain's run, if with those headlines, keep it about the team as a whole, because you're not singling anyone out. It's about the team, and Queensland hates New South Wales hate Queensland, all that kind of stuff. But singling people out, it's like, mate, you haven't earned the right to say stuff like that, because you'd never say that in person. Like, if you were on the footy field, there's no way you would say that. Whereas the footy players, there are Queenslanders that would say that on the footy field. Like, I'm gonna get this player, I'm gonna get this player. So anyway, as I said, I know there haven't been, not a lot of, because there's a lot of New South Wales people in the media, but from a Queensland perspective, I wish they had a kick to him. I wish Tino had an opportunity to have a go at him. I wish Paddy had an opportunity. And I think that it's just an error. It's just an error, and errors are made in every single origin. No one's perfect, and hopefully this is the catalyst that galvanises the Queensland side to go, you know what, maybe we did miss a trick with that, and maybe we need to stop being so smart and just think, let's just be gutsy, let's just be brave.
They'll be kicking to him next game.
Surely.
They have to.
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to, and just send Tino after him, the big dog. That's my thoughts on it. That's my thoughts on the Spencer Leniu thing. As I said, I hope it's a real turning point in the series. Hopefully Queensland can use it as, you know what, watch the video, go over it and look at each other and go, you know what, we're never going to let that happen again. Because unfortunately, that is going to haunt us for years. Especially if you win the series, if we turn around and win the series, it'll be forgotten like it's nothing.
Definitely.
If you go around and win the series, people will talk about this moment. New South Wales will talk about this moment for a very, very long time.
Definitely. If you win the series and like that moment, it actually could work the other way. I know it's a long, long way up for you guys to win the series, but, the Queensland had made this huge error in game one. They were terrible. They did the Spencer thing, and then they, based off that, they turned it around. But, a lot's got to happen for that to happen. Yeah. You're right. If Blues win, which is looking good at the moment, it's going to be spoken about for a long time.
Yeah. But if Queensland can somehow turn it around, that'll do enough damage to the narrative of how it all happened. But unfortunately, if Blues win, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to point to that moment and say that's when the series was won.
Yeah.
That's when the series was won. When the series was won, and when we speak about this from a decade point onwards, people looking back are going to say, New South Wales won that series in game one at Suncorp. Game one at Suncorp. The Queensland Maroons kicked away from Spencer Leniu, one of the most talked about, had issues with multiple Queenslanders, their enforcer off the bench. The
big one was going at Thurston. That's the big one.
Just crazy. I cannot, anyway, it's going to be interesting. No one really asked Billy Slater in the press conference, I don't think.
I've only heard people on the outside and people down south of the border talking about it.
I would love to hear what their thinking was. What was DC and Billy Slater's thinking to make that decision?
Yeah.
Because that'll explain a lot. And maybe it was just a coincidence, and it was because Max King was on the field. They wanted to kick the ball to him so that they could rattle him. But, it just doesn't look great. Don't forget, guys, codesports.com.au. Use code BLOKE. So go to codesports.com.au/bloke and use code BLOKE. You get for the entire year $49. So 12 months. That equals is that $3.50 a month or something?
It's just over $4 a month, like a cent over $4.
$4 a month for all the access to the best articles in Australian sport, bar none. Code Sports, all of the broken stories, they're all coming out of Code Sports. So trust me, guys, use this discount while it's here. Because it's not going to be here forever, and take you 2 seconds as well. And also shows Code Sports that the community gets around partners of the show. And also don't forget, use code SHARP in Menulog, the hungriest player, for free delivery this week. Use code SHARP, SHARPE, for free delivery on Menulog this week. And don't forget to join the Bloke Club. Go to www.bloke.club. In a month's time, we are drawing a Mazda BT50. Join the Bloke Club at www.bloke.club. You automatically go on the entry. Can you imagine winning a Mazda BT50 and all you had to do was join a club that is totally free with no strings attached? Imagine getting that call to win the Mazda BT50. That's getting drawn soon, and you can do whatever you want with it. So if you get it and move it on, you can do that. You can do whatever you want. It's yours.
I really let that sink in the other day when I was here with Jacko, and I was like, bro, that's life changing.
Bro, that is a Mazda BT50. Like, that is, you never, most people in their life wouldn't buy a new ute that good.
Yeah.
And you're going to get it for free if you win. So give Luke Camilleri a follow on Instagram, LDC_01. Mention Bloke to Aspley Mazda or Luke, and they'll take care of you in regards to pricing. And also, for your chance to win $1,000 cash, make sure to be following Luke, because we're drawing that $1,000 cash very, very soon over the next... If it's not Monday, it's the following Monday, but it might even be this Monday. So make sure to be following Lukey, LDC_01, for your chance to win $1,000. And as I said, guys, with the Bloke Club, we give away prizes every single month. Yeah, anything else in regards to the Origin, going forward?
Look, I think Queensland, if it was up to me, I would definitely be bringing in Corey Horsburgh and Jai Arrow. I remember sitting here I think it was the back end of the first half, and I said to you blokes, I was like, geez, I'm glad they don't have Corey Horsburgh coming off the bench right now for a bit of spark. I think they've missed a trick there, not putting those guys in. And going back to the Spencer Leniu thing, like, those are two guys that they'd want to run at Spencer Leniu as well. Like, they're just what Origin's all about. And Corey Horsburgh, he's been great this year. I might be a little, not biased, but I watch South obviously very closely. And Jai Arrow is phenomenal. And I thought he should have definitely made the team in game one. I think he's an Origin player. I think he should definitely be there game two. DCE, my emotional reaction was drop him. And I think I probably still would, but I'm getting the feeling that won't happen.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling it won't happen just because he's a captain and just the look of it all. But me personally, I'd be bringing Dearden in. I agree with you. I'd be bringing Arrow and Horsburgh in. Fodawaker, I'd actually probably be starting Lindsay Collins. Fodawaker would either go to the bench or be out of the squad this time.
Yep.
Yeah, but Arrow and Horsburgh would be coming in for sure. Absolutely. Definitely. In regards to the outside backs, we don't really have anyone else. Like, Hammer's just got to bounce back from that performance. Coates was actually pretty good. Toy was great.
Yep.
Holmes was solid, So I think you keep that.
What about Cobbo?
Nah, I don't think so. As I said, I thought our backs were pretty good. Like, I thought that it was just in the middle where we just got completely rolled. Outside of Hammer, I thought Hammer got, taken to school, unfortunately. Usually he kills it in Origin, and it just wasn't his night. And so I don't think Selwyn's going to fix any of those problems. Because our issue is not, taking opportunities or needing a game breaker. Our issue is we need to be able to handle that middle of the field somehow. Stop their roll on somehow, some way. I'd be going Arrow, he'd be coming in. Horsburgh would be coming in. And I'd keep Ponga at fullback. And I'd just be finding a way to get him more involved with some good ball.
Yep.
And less clunky attack. Far out. That was so clunky, that attack. I can't believe it.
Honestly, as a Blues fan, I wasn't concerned, which was, I'm not used to that, to be honest, in Origin. Like, I'm usually so tense. And what about Max Plath? What if he returns soon?
Yeah, Max Plath.
Because if you put
Dearden in it, then maybe Plath would go to 14 or Kurt Mann will go to 14.
Yeah.
I just worried a bit about our size, though. Like, we're just getting rolled so much through the middle. And that's just a little bit of a concern. Like, can we afford to bring Kurt Mann on like Connor Watson did in the last 15 minutes? Then I would consider it. But yeah, just the size through the middle. Like, off the bench, Horsburgh, Arrow, like, they're not actually that big compared to Spencer, Hudson Young. It's a tough one.
What about Harry Grant had a stinker, right? And I think Harry Grant's the best hooker in the comp, and there's daylight between him and second, but he's never won an Origin game starting before. I think he's none from 4 now.
Nah. Harry Grant keeps a 9 jersey for sure. Like he's easily the best hooker in the game. It's essentially his like second game back from like, what was it, 6 weeks off?
I tell you what, yeah, it was. If I'm a Queenslander, I'm devastated Ben Hunt's injured, because you just put Ben Hunt on for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, I think Harry Grant can handle it. I really do. I just think that it's the fact that he's been injured and he was just a couple of errors here or there. I don't think bringing Benny Hunt on was going to change the roll on from New South Wales. Like Benny Hunt he's not this gun defender in the middle. It's his attack that offers quite a lot in the middle there. If you could find me like a gun number 9 defender that could go in there, then I would consider that first 20 minutes. But I don't think it makes any difference defensively. Like if Ben Hunt started the game on game 1, he would be getting bumped just as much as Harry Grant's getting bumped. Their defense is relatively similar.
Yep.
Whereas if you had like a number 9 that's like a staunch defender like Reece Robson, and that's what's so good about Reece Robson, he's a staunch defender.
Yeah.
And you don't really you don't have to spot him up because he actually can hit. And so if you could, I'm just trying to think. I don't think there's any 9s out there. It just shows you the difference in depth between the states. Like it's always kind of been like that because we're a much smaller state with way less teams and everything like that. But the depth that you guys have in all these positions is crazy.
Yeah,
it's actually crazy. So, yeah.
Can I pivot for a sec? When Robson goes to the Roosters next year, is Watson going to play 14? Because if he does, that's the scariest thing of all time, them two together.
Well, I think he'll play 13, and I think they'll probably move Bradley to an edge. Yeah,
fair.
Unless they put Zavala in 13, but I reckon they'll play him at 13. You can't, with Watson in club land, you can't have him off the field.
It's a waste.
It's a waste. He's too good. He's way too good. I will say this is what I'll predict, though. I reckon, I wish there was a market on it, Queensland to get the first 4 penalties.
Oh, mate, they are getting the first 4 penalties.
100%. Go back to game 2 last year when New South Wales won. They got the first 6 penalties.
Yeah.
I will be shocked beyond belief if Queensland don't get the first 4 penalties.
And like, I don't think Billy Slater, I don't think he said it, he mentioned it too much.
You could tell he was stinging.
Well, they interviewed him like 20 minutes into the game, and he did hint that he wasn't happy at some of the calls.
Mate, those calls were ridiculous in Origin.
They were.
Klein reffed the Origin out of that game. Yeah. He truly reffed the Origin out of the game. It was so poor. And I'm always really positive about refs, but I don't. I'll tell you what's ruining the product. That is. It's not the crackdown from above. It's not any other decisions around it. It's a ref coming out in Origin and blowing 21 calls. That's what's ruined Origin. And I promise you, most New South Wales people say that didn't feel like an Origin game.
It didn't.
Felt like a normal club game.
It felt like a footy NRL game.
I'll tell you why. Because it was reffed like a normal club game.
Yeah.
Like, bro, there was no niggle. There was like one flare up. That's it. Like, mate, it frustrates the hell out of me. Why ruin our best product to make it about you when you don't need to? Like, do you really think you penalising someone having a hand on the face is going to change? Like, oh, I'm never putting a hand on the face again. Bro, I could point out at least 3 to 4 other times where arms were around necks from the Blues and Queensland that didn't get called. So it's like, why do it then? Because like you're sitting there going, well, I'm trying to set the tone to stop them from doing it. They kept on doing it through the whole game.
Well, it didn't change anything, yeah.
And guess what? You didn't blow the penalty because you knew then you'd be up at 30 penalties. It's so annoying. Just don't ref, like, get G back in there. I don't understand why he reffed the greatest ever grand final. Everyone agrees to it. Even as a Broncos fan, I agree that it was the greatest ever. He let the game flow. He let the players decide how it was going to be played. Now, I get if it's been 10, 15 minutes and Queensland are lying in the ruck and just making him holding on and ball on hand, yes, start blowing penalties. In the first couple of sets, give me a break. That's how you can tell he came in there with a plan. Like Ashley Klein didn't come letting the game flow. He came in there saying, I'm going to stamp my authority immediately on this game. Ridiculous.
Well, it's like
that was not an Origin. That was not Origin exciting game.
It didn't feel like it did.
You can even tell by the commentators. The commentators all said it, and I hope they allow the game to flow. And what's funny is I reckon if they allow the game to flow, New South Wales will probably win by more in game 1.
Yeah, For sure they would have.
Because, like, they were just so dominant.
So
like,
stop-start,
it's
yeah.
just, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And I know there are some people that are like, no, I agree. You know, if you can't have hands on face in Origin, it's like...
then there'd be a penalty every freaking set.
That's what I mean. If you want to go down that route of no hands around necks and faces, I can point out to you at least another 5 or 6 times where their hands around necks, elbows on faces. It's Origin, bro. It is Origin. Let those things go. Let the boys sort it out. As long as they're not too crazy, dropping, like going mental. But that first one with the hand on the face, and then the Tino one with the hand, it's like, mate, even Zach Climax, wasn't calling out for a penalty.
Yeah.
He understood it's part of Origin. It's part of Origin.
And then a few minutes later, Lomax gets put above the horizontal.
Doesn't call it. And it's like, that's what you should call, because that's actually dangerous. And it's dangerous too.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'm like, that's dangerous. Absolutely call it. And then, like, Latrell gets done for a flop. Like, what? Like, wasn't even a flop. Yeah, anyway. Like, in the other one, like, you know, the lifted leg on Crichton when he'd already knocked the ball on. Moses pushing DC into the ball and he got a penalty.
Got penalty.
Like, mate, fucking hell. Terrible performance.
It was one of the, like, that Origin game is going to be forgotten as quickly as it was played. Like, it was just...
Oh, yeah, mate. Compare that to the 2023 decider.
Yeah.
Where it was carnage. One of the greatest things I've ever seen. Or compared to, like, I don't know, 2018 decider where, was it Teddy goes over the line at the end there?
19, yeah.
19. Like, that. Like, these games were just absolutely incredible. Mate, this was one of the dullest games I've watched in Origin.
Yeah. And, like, Blues going up to Suncorp and winning. I know you've mentioned that this generation aren't scared of it, but, like...
It still should be a big deal.
That should be a massive deal.
Yeah, but a lot of people are deflated by it. They're like, yeah, it was a good win. We dominated. But, like, it wasn't an exciting game.
No.
Anyway, that's my thoughts. And I know people go, well, hang on. If it's hand on the face, you've got to give a penalty. As I said, if you want to live by that rule, you would be giving penalties away every set. I promise you, hands on faces and all that kind of stuff happen all the time. Yes, granted, some are worse than others, but it's a very slippery slope to go down, especially in Origin. And also, that's what makes Origin different to Clubland is the niggle. It's all the little things that make people want to get up and throw punches. Like, that's what makes it so exciting, because you're supposed to be watching every tackle on the edge of your seat.
And it's accepted by both fans and both teams. Like, that's just what it is.
That's part of it. And you're on the edge of your seat. Is it going to explode? Is it going to explode? Like, the beauty of Origin is the promise of an explosion potentially happening. Like, something's going to go, whether it's a massive hit. We don't have fights anymore, but a push and shove is still pretty fun to see. Like,
yeah, last year was hilarious when, I mean, Cam Murray certainly won't say this when he got Simbin, but, like, when they come in off the bench.
Great.
Yeah.
It was like, think of the intensity. Think about, what about last year, the decider, how much that game flowed?
Oh, that was mad.
It was like just a game of chicken. Who's going to blink first? It was incredible. Anyway, it was. But yeah, so great win. Last night with the girls, Queensland get the job done over New South Wales. Huge missed opportunity for the Blues to sweep. Huge missed opportunity. They're winning, I think, by 8 points with, 10 to go or something?
I think it was like 15 to go, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Queensland come back, get the job done. Geez, they'll be disappointed. Super, super disappointed with that one.
A good example of never, ever put New South Wales or Queensland at $5 odds in Origin.
$5.
Like, it's Origin. Like,
man, I got absolutely stitched up. You know that first try Queensland did by the edge back rower?
Yeah.
They said it was no try. I had her and Queensland head to head at like $40 or something like that. And they didn't give it to her. I was just like,
and it was so close.
And you know what I don't get with that call?
Yeah.
It goes up as try. Are you telling me you can definitely say that that's enough evidence to say that she didn't get that ball down? That didn't touch a blade of grass first?
Yeah.
Like, just give the, like, it's like they go against their own rules. Unless we're just like, I'm watching on 4K or HD, so I can see enough. I'm not watching on little phone screen. And they don't give it. I don't understand that. Isn't the ruling, if it goes up as try, you have to have definitive evidence that it was simultaneous?
They seem to have gone away from that recently.
Yeah, it doesn't. They overturn all the time.
Yeah.
Even with the Isabel Kelly one, like, are you telling me a blade of grass didn't touch that?
Jeez, that was a missed opportunity.
It's a missed opportunity. But a blade of grass, you reckon a blade of grass didn't touch that?
I was pretty sure that wasn't a try. I'm with you on the Queensland one though. Like, I thought it might have been simultaneous. It might have been because correct me if I'm wrong. I thought simultaneous meant try, unless that means simultaneous grounding. I don't know, but yeah, that's a.
But I think even with the Isabella Kelly one, like, I reckon a blade of craft
probably
would touch that.
It probably did, yeah.
If your arm's like that and you're sliding across the ground, at some point, surely a blade of grass is touching
I
that.
think you're right, but I think that there's been a shift. Like it used to be,
actually gonna ground it.
Like with penalty try. Remember that back in the days, it used to be you have to be 100% sure.
Yeah.
Mate, now they give away penalty tries for fun.
Yeah.
So I think they've kind of relaxed on that a little bit. Well, clearly they did because, yesterday showed that.
But really, really good win from the Maroons. Like, just saved a bit of pride there. They would have been devastated if they got
the second thing I was going to say is, like, people that say we shouldn't have dead rubbers, rubbish. Like,
mate, you don't get it. You don't get it.
Yeah.
It changes quite. Like, can you imagine the difference in celebration if if New South Wales whitewashes?
Exactly.
Like that's a historic fucking time. They never happen. Whereas 2-1. All of a sudden, there's debutantes that are coming in. There's guys that get opportunities in dead rubbers. You get a bit of pride back. Like, if this series turns out to be 2-1, all of a sudden, because there's a lot of people that are saying for New South Wales, we're about to start a dynasty. Like, we're about to go on if it goes 2-1 in the series, there'll be a lot of New South Wales fans going, okay, like, we won the series, but I don't know about a dynasty. 3-0, you're going,
we talking
dynasty's about to start. But yeah, not having, like, people that don't think there should be a dead rubber, I just don't think they get it. I don't think they get that even winning a dead rubber is still a win for a state. Like,
well, a few years ago, I'll give two examples. One, when 2021, when Queensland had just been record margin. I remember going in that game thinking, here we go, we're going to sweep for the first time in 21 years.
Yeah.
And Queensland somehow pulled out a win against that great team. A couple of years later, Bradman Best debuts, Cody Walker comes in, Colin Matangi debuts, Bradman Best scores a double. Like, the series was dead in both of those.
Yep.
It means a lot.
Yeah, and also, it's like still super enjoyable to watch. Like,
exactly.
It's still good content.
And just the thought of getting 3-0, it's so rare that it's almost just as much like pressure as going for that 2-0 win.
Mate, a 3-0 win this year would be like...
It's diabolical for Queensland.
Panic stations.
Yeah. And now that the women's are 3 series as well, one day, and it could be next year, it could be in 50 years, but one day there's going to be a 6-0 double whitewash.
Absolutely.
And that's going to go down in history.
That's going to be crazy. Absolutely. And the first one to happen for sure. Don't forget, guys, next Saturday, literally next Saturday, the Wellness Warriors gathering, the 7th of June on the Gold Coast. I think it's the Koplik Family Park. Make sure to come down, guys. I will be there. There'll be yarns, there'll be feeds. And if you just want to come down and say, hey, want to come down and say hey to me and have a yarn and spend the day with us, get down here. It's totally free. And it'll be just a really good day. It's at Koplik's Family Sports Park North. And it'll be a bloody good day. And it's relaxed, guys. Really cruisy. So if you're in the area, come down, chill, have a yarn, have a feed. And yeah, it's next week. It is next Saturday. So I'll be there. And on top of all that, you're actually going to go away with, I promise you this, if you come down and you spend a couple of hours there, just a couple of hours, even on a Saturday, you will not walk away disappointed. You know, you'll be equipping yourself you'll become a much better version of yourself. And I think often as blokes, we don't spend enough time working on ourselves. You know, to become the best version of yourself, it doesn't just happen by just waking up and day being willy-nilly. You've got to work on it. You've got to learn about things and take information in and all that. So get down next Saturday. I'll be there. It is totally free, guys. And yeah, come down, have a yarn, have a feed, spend the day. Lockie Galvin has landed. He has landed at the Bulldogs. We've seen some images. Not much more to say about that, to be honest, really. Just more about it's going to be interesting to see where he plays, if he plays this weekend. Next weekend, sorry.
Tuesday is going to be interesting to see where they name him. I'm more than certain he'll be named either at 14 or on the extended bench, so we probably won't find out. But, yeah, I highly doubt he'll start straight away. I don't know what you think. Yeah, I reckon they'll play him off the bench for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a bit much to just go here. You're a starting 7 or a starting 6.
Yeah,
I think off the bench will be maybe they'll probably go. The whole Reed Marnie thing's interesting. Maybe they'll rest Reed Marnie. They'll start Bailey Hayward at 9.
It's against Para, right? The game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's on a public holiday, so I assume it's going to be a big crowd.
Yeah, wow. Because next week's Monday show's on Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah. As in not next week. The week after.
The week after.
Dogs have
So
the
I was
bye.
gonna
Dogs
say-
have the bye this week.
Yeah, I was going to say, whoops. Because I was like, I've got all this stuff organised on a Tuesday, and I was like, holy shit.
No, we're good.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Dom Young to the Knights has emerged that Dom Young will be going to the Newcastle Knights this season. He will, however, need to wait until round 15 as the Roosters don't want Young to play against them. That game is June 14th, so it's before June 30 deadline. Yeah, good get from the Knights to get him to go home because that's where he played his best footy, and clearly he just hasn't clicked for him at the Roosters. And I don't think it's just his fault at all. Like I still think he's a bloody good player. Just needs to be in the right environment that suits him, and vice versa. So yeah, I can't wait to see him. What do you reckon?
I think it's a good deal. I think the Roosters. It's fair enough. The Roosters they're holding the cards. They have him under contract, and if they don't want to play him, they shouldn't have to. If it's before June 30, so yeah, I'm all for it. I think they were just squabbling over cash, weren't they? Like the Knights were very cheeky to say you're going to pay some of this contract.
Yeah,
they've clearly worked that one out, and yeah, I'm keen to see Dom Young back in Knights colours.
Yeah, me too. Don't forget, grab your Grumpy coffee, guys. Give us a follow at Grumpy Drinks. DJ Grumpy, he'll be playing this weekend, actually, this Sunday in Melbourne, the great DJ Grumpy. And also, if you give us a follow on Instagram and that, you get all the content from DJ Grumpy. We're going to be making songs, albums, all that good stuff. You do not want to miss it. And this Sunday, he will be at City Saints. So City Saints Cafe Party. It'll be this Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m, June 1st. So, yeah, it's going to be a great day. Make sure to get down if you're in the Melbourne region. And I think he was also doing some runs as well. So, yeah, follow us on Grumpy Drinks on Instagram. It's a fun follow, different to Bloke in a Bar, and some really cool, good music. But most of all, make sure to grab some Grumpy coffee, the best coffee in all the land. Eels 5'8", the Eels are reportedly considering Joash Papali to have a crack at Dylan Brown's vacant 6 jersey. I think they'll go their young fella coming through. I think Joash Papali is more of a fullback. I think, as we said, I think there's a young gun at the moment at the Eels that was going to probably step up. Lorenzo or something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think they should go after Sandon Smith.
I don't mind that. Yeah, with Mitchell Moses.
I think that's a perfect combination.
That's a great call.
Because
Jeez.
the Roosters I think they're pretty happy to let him go.
Well, interesting, because I'm
depends.
hearing, I'm getting the feeling that the Roosters might pull out of the DCE contract.
Imagine that.
Like, it's a gamble.
I wouldn't sign him. No way.
Like, he's 36, turning 37 this year, and he's out of form at the moment.
Look, I'm definitely not going to speak for Roosters fans, but I have a lot of Roosters fans because that's where I'm from,
Yeah.
and a lot of them would much rather them not sign him because of what's happened in the last few weeks, not just with DCE, but with their young guns.
Yeah. And I think also, look, DC is such a champion of the game. So, anyone listening to this podcast knows we absolutely love him as a player and as a bloke. But, if you're out of form and you're 25 years old, that's one thing. Who gives a shit? You can find form again. Being out of form as a 36, 37-year-old, the problem is that the question becomes, are you out of form because you're just a bit too old at the moment? Is that the reason why you're out of form? And so, I don't know. I'm just getting this feeling that the Roosters are going to make a ruthless call and go, mate, we just can't risk it. Because what if, he's 38 next year? He's nearly 40 years old.
Isn't it wild?
That's in the halves. And also the thing with DCE is, he's not like Cam Smith, where Cam Smith, he relied heavily on his footy smarts. And DCE has plenty of footy smarts, but he's an instinctive half that relies on his speed. And as you get older, obviously that's the first thing that's probably going to be going. And the crazy thing is, even Cam Smith, when he was about 35 or whatever, retired from Origin footy. Even he said, you know what? I've had enough. I'm done. I'm not going to go anymore. Whereas DCE, in a perfect world, I reckon 2023 DCE probably should have said, you know what? Walk off into the sunset. I've set the tone. I've set my legacy for Origin. I'll be known as one of the best Origin players of my generation. So, yeah, I'm just getting that feeling.
Going back to Origin, he will be remembered as an Origin great, especially as the captain of that Queensland team, that 2020 team. Perfect world. He would have left in 2023, but it's crazy. He became the oldest Origin player of all time on the weekend. Going back to this old thing, I think I certainly have got a little bit desensitized to how old he is just because of Ben Hunt Reynolds Cherry Evans. South let Reynolds go because he was too old when he was 30.
Yeah.
Reynolds is only 34 years old.
I know.
Isn't that mind-blowing?
It's
So
actually wild.
yeah, so if I'm the Roosters, I'd be backing my young guns.
Yeah.
Look, there's probably a handshake deal that's been done, but
Well, the problem is he's not in good form.
No.
So you're going to get an out of form DCE and
well, that's why if I'm Queensland, I'm dropping him because it's one thing to have a bad game in Origin, but he hasn't been playing well all year.
Yeah.
So
he started the year really well. So I guess we'll see. We'll see. What is interesting about Origin at the moment, I think we had so many years of dominance. I think we're starting to see the young fellas that grew up in that dominance that are want payback now from New South Wales.
yeah.
And also, when you have all these years of dominance, it does have a tendency to the next generation isn't necessarily complacent, but they don't have the chip on their shoulder. So, for example, the team that won 8 in a row, they had a chip on their shoulder from the Blues winning nearly 3 in a row and having that early success into the 2000s. Whereas this current crop of Queensland is they don't really have a chip on their shoulder because they've won in the last 25 years, they've won 20 series or 18 series or something like that?
It's something like that, yeah. I think it's...
Sorry, in the last 20 years, since 2005, so 2006 being the first one, they've won 15 out of the 20 series?
Yeah, so they won 8, then they won 3, so they were 11 from 12, and then since then they've won another 3. So they've won 14 from about 18 or 19.
Which is...
14 from... My maths isn't great today, but it's a lot.
It's a lot. And that's what I mean. Are we seeing the first kind of Maroons that they don't have a chip on their shoulder because they've been so dominant, whereas this Blues side absolutely have a chip on their shoulder because they're sitting there going, we have been told that we don't have any spirit, we don't have any ticker, and Queensland is this and Queensland are that. And this new Blues are going, no, we're changing that narrative. We are not going to be spoken about like that because it's disrespectful to us.
Well, they all these Blues guys, they're what, mid-20s, they would have gone through school. Queensland won every series.
Yeah.
I went through that. I didn't win a single Origin. Blues didn't win a single Origin when I was at school, in high school, I mean.
I'll tell you what, that 8 in a row is just
God, that was tough.
It's just never going to happen again. There's no way.
Nah. Because, as dominant as New South Wales were from 2018 to 2021, they were dominant in those 4 years. But because of that
20.
worst Origin series ever, and that would have been 4 in a row, let alone 8 in a row. Yeah, that 8 in a row, that was... I tell you what the worst thing about that 8 in a row was, I never went into an Origin game thinking New South Wales were going to lose. And in hindsight, it's great, but you never do. And that's why Origin's so good. And and Origin ratings when Queensland, during that 8 in a row, was so high because there was one whitewash in all of them. It's funny, Laurie Daly, he's not including this game. Actually, you know what? Let's include this game. He's had 5 series and he's lost 4, but he's actually won 7 Origins, lost 10. It's actually not that bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So he never got washed. He won. And I tell you the funny thing about Laurie is, I think he's won game 1, I think, in 4 of those series. So he's actually a bit of a game 1 specialist.
Oh, really?
So he's been here before, Laurie. So yeah, but you're right. It is definitely different for these new guys.
There's no... massive congratulations to Laurie Daly, but I don't think Craig Bellamy's getting spoken about enough.
Nah, you've got right.
A lot of people think Bellyache's the greatest coach of all time, and he's in your coaching stuff. That's a big deal. Think of all the little tips and tricks he would have given all Cleary and Yo and all those boys, Moses and Haas, and
especially because half the Queensland spine are from Melbourne.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the Argo looking like, mate?
Oh, a bit similar. It's all Italy at the moment, that stuff. But not just that. I'm getting fed all this Soprano stuff at the moment, which is kind of funny since I stopped watching it a while ago. But as you said last week, I think it's just that time of year where people are jetting off to Europe, and I was there last year, which was nice. But yeah, what's yours?
Yeah, mine is actually a lot of army stuff. So I watched Warfare.
Course, yeah.
And then at the moment, I'm watching the Sean Ryan show. And I know I've known the Sean Ryan show before, long before this. And I'm watching DJ Shipley, SEAL Team 6 DevGru operator. And so Sean Ryan show is a lot of Special Forces, Army stories. And some of the yarns these Special Forces have are just insane. And so my whole YouTube feed is just Army, Special Forces, you name it. And I'm digging it. I'm loving it.
Nice.
Because as I said, there was a period in my 20s where I was like, I want to join the Army. And yeah, so like I just sometimes get that itch, the Army itch, even though I'm way too old now. What is really interesting though, so you know the Lone Survivor?
Yep.
There's like it's coming out now, or it's come out for the last couple of years, that there might be, I guess, some not so truths in that truth. That maybe Luttrell, the Marcus Luttrell, he might have exaggerated some things. And there's also an argument to be made that the American government wanted to turn an embarrassment into a propaganda tool of positivity for the Army. Because a lot of these movies, Army movies in Hollywood, they get grants from the American government. And so the American government does it. It's as propaganda to try and get people to join the Army in that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Defense Force, like they get the money from the Defense Force or something like that. And so Lone Survivor, I'm pretty sure, could you Google it? Did Lone Survivor receive, money from the American government? And you'll find that like what the Army will do, reportedly, allegedly, they'll have these stories that they'll pick and be like, let's really push this story because it's a really good way to, show the heroics of being in the Army and how good we are as a force and all that kind of stuff. And I think they actually put money into quite a lot of different Army movies.
The first thing that came up was the production received a 25% tax credit for shooting in the state, but I'll keep looking.
Yeah. Maybe just write, do American Army movies receive government money? Army. Because I'm pretty sure they do.
Oh, yes. It's common for American Army movies to receive government funding or support, especially when they aim to portray the military in a positive light or assist with recruitment and retention.
It's crazy when you think about it, eh?
Yeah, I know.
Like if you if you don't think you're susceptible to propaganda, you're an idiot. Every single person has been fed some kind of propaganda that you weren't aware that it was propaganda. It's like you're not immune to it. Now, are some people are some people more media literate than others? Absolutely. But we are all guilty of being convinced of something that is half true, or being, fed a movie and being like, for example, like maybe I've got that Army itch because I watched Army movies when I was younger or something like that, or I played Call of Duty or something. I mean, I'm sure Call of Duty is a huge recruiter for the American Army.
Yeah.
A huge recruiter.
It's funny that no one thinks they're susceptible to it.
No, yeah. I mean, some people. I think if you're being reasonable, but...
Well, yes, but you know what I mean.
If you genuinely think that you aren't susceptible, like you're just ignorant. You're just ignorant. You are absolutely susceptible. You've absolutely been hoodwinked. There's probably something you believe right now that isn't true. That's propaganda. Just like myself, I'm sure there are things that... Like I didn't even know that Army movies receive funding from the government until like a couple of years ago.
Well, I didn't know that till 5 seconds ago.
That's crazy. So anytime you watch an Army movie, you're literally watching propaganda.
Yeah.
And like propaganda has this like really negative connotation, and most times it is, but like, it's just a part of governments. Governments release propaganda. Like, it's just the way it is. So yeah. Anyway, let's get some tips. Who you got? Dragons and Knights. Who you got?
It's funny around Origin, you kind of forget that the NRL's on.
Yeah.
Dragons.
Titans, Storm. Cowboys.
I'm going Tigers.
Tigers?
They're like $3.
Oh, no, it's great value. Sea Eagles, Brisbane.
Broncos. I think they'll win well too. No turbo.
Rabbitohs, Wars.
Yes.
Penrith, Para.
This game's an absolute pick-em, and because it's a pick-em, I'm backing the outsiders, so I'm going Eels.
Okay. Roosters, Raiders.
Tough game. Good footy on Sunday. I'm going to go Raiders, except this stinky 6:15 p.m. time slot is annoying.
I worry for the Eels that those Origin players come back with confidence and just go skits.
Yeah, true.
And we literally wake up and go, oh, the Penrith Panthers are back. I'm a little bit worried about it.
Extremely possible.
Like think about,
especially because they're last.
Think about the Origin players that are just about to get in after that dominant win they just had.
Yeah.
Like that's scary. That's scary. So we'll see. Alrighty. That's us done and dusted. Do not forget, next Saturday, Wellness Warriors on the Gold Coast. Go to warriorsgathering.com.au. Make sure to come down. Come down, say hi. Whether you're from the Gold Coast, Brizzy, or in the area, northern New South Wales, come down, say hi. It'd be a bloody great day. Have a yarn, have a free feed, all that good stuff. Grab some grumpy coffee. And then finally, do not forget, June 10th, 6 p.m, Bloke, maroon jumpers and maroon hats, blue jumpers and blue hats, limited edition. They're dropping. Be there. So that's not this Tuesday coming, but the following Tuesday. Make sure to be there. As usual, we'll go and fuck ourselves. Thank you.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.